Good day, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is you're catching us in our lovely selves. It's Gabe, it's Paige. My name's Michelle. This is What Did I Miss After a super action-packed weekend. To the point where when Paige asked me if I had any TV recs, I realized I don't think I ever sat on my couch and watched TV this weekend other than some sports. That was it. That feels weird to say that out loud. How are you guys doing? Good weekend? Spicy
weekend. A lot of sports.
Gabe looks like it wasn't that spicy at all. Mm-hmm. Why? By the way,
what
shout
was
out.
Spicy about
I know
it?
Spicy. I'm like, what was spicy about it?
We'll get to it, but all the fan stuff. A lot of fans behaving badly.
Allegedly, but yes, we're gonna go. But we have to say, shout out Jokic, Nikola Jokic, 2-time MVP. A man after most people's hearts if you watched anything he's done this season, but especially as they were being wiped out of the playoffs and you saw his just red-faced, exhausted being, you realize this dude does it all and he's had really little to no help doing it. And I know people will spend the next 2 days talking about, should he have won? Even though they've spent the last 6 months doing it also. But I'm glad he won because I think he's in a bad situation and I'd like him to be a Spur. And since, I'd like to put that in the ether. I'd like to put that in the universe because he deserves it. He deserves to be. I mean, it's not like Tim Duncan's still here, but still, I love it. You guys good with it? I mean, I know people are like, oh, why did Giannis together? It's like,
I'm great with it for one reason, which is his brothers who remain active on social media and just talking.
Wait,
shit,
am I not following them? I got to follow them. I'm gonna follow the Jokic brothers.
I think it's just at Jokic Brothers.
Why?
Wait a minute.
But like they're tweeting
he
today.
has brothers who
This
just
might be fake.
I'm on it.
so he can just continue to be the most boring person alive, and his brothers can be interesting for him.
Yes.
You don't remember this? His brothers got into a fight with
Yeah, he did.
Markieff Morris.
Yeah, Jokic brothers.
Markieff.
don't remember this?
Wait,
Oh,
both
it's incredible.
Morrises or just one? It's a 2-on-1 fight. That doesn't feel fair. He's got a twin.
Wait.
Yeah. So right. So we could set up like a brother
Remember
v
that.
brother situation. 2v2.
Wait, but what is? I mean, yeah,
Lot of
there is.
fighting
I
in
think
today's
there's.
show.
I think it's the beginning of heat time, and there's a lot going on. But we just wanted to get that out of the way because I that's been talked about for 2 months now about who's going to win MVP. And honestly, it was one of those years where, unless they just pick some rando out of the blue, like I would have been fine with Embiid, Jokic, or Jan. I'm good with it all. So they got it right. Whoever they is, well done. But anyways, that leads us to the NBA. We've got series. Series are happening, you guys. All tied up, number 1 seeds, not making it look very easy, potentially also going to get knocked out in this round. I am happy to have been watching it. Was anything shocking to you guys? Like, are you shocked at all to find Phoenix or Miami in a situation where now they're all tied up and it's a best of 3? Why? Because some people are acting like it's shocking, and I don't know.
Oh,
why,
I don't.
but-
I just don't know anything about either of these teams, and find that Luka is the only interesting part of the whole thing, and CP3, God bless him, is trying to give us something to talk about with that whole incident, but. I don't know. Basketball wise, I don't know what to make of these two teams.
What? Well, let's get into it. What incident is that?
Well, I mean, obviously we saw the tweet after the game, and we're like, huh? Why is the guy who used to be the head of the players union basically saying like, screw the fans, if they get to be jerks, so do we? And that was sort
he
of
dropped
puzzling.
an F-bomb. He didn't
Yeah.
say screw it. He dropped that F-bomb right there for everyone to see.
And so that was puzzling until the video came out of a young man, probably a teenager. I don't think we know exactly
so.
how old. Yeah, young guy who was involved allegedly in an incident with Chris Paul's whole family. His mom, probably an older woman, his wife and his kids were around. Apparently he put his hands on them. That's not allowed. But we don't know what led to that. We don't know anything about it. And then you see CP3 in a crowd of people involving players yell over to this kid, I'll see you later. Pretty ominous.
He was adamant about it too. I'll find you. I'll see you. I was like, he does know he's 15, right? Like he's like, if I have no idea. But see, here's where it gets tricky because, again, we don't know anything of what happened. Now, if hands were in fact put on someone, especially someone's mother, then sure, I understand completely. Like if somebody touched my mom, I would probably go ballistic. but we don't know anything. And that's what's a little bit tricky for me on this one. I also think, look, I've not been quiet about my disdain for one Chris Paul. I think he's a dirty player, and I think he's a flopping player, and I think he's a whining player, and he complains about everything. And so when I find out that it's him and his family, I'm like, oh, it's like the perfect storm. I don't know what to say about it. It's a large group of people. So I don't know that it was just a simple case of like this child did something. It almost feels like, hey, this is Chris Paul's family when they're surrounded by Mavericks fans. That's just a recipe for disaster anyways. But I'll be curious to see what happens. I mean, if you're the kid's mom, that's an embarrassing situation. I have to escort my kid out of here because he did something stupid and we're going to be ostracized. But yeah, I don't know. Paige, did you have an immediate reaction? Because I feel like people immediately felt very strongly about this, and it was a little bit odd to watch.
My reaction was more about what is happening with fans.
Yeah.
I truly I mean, maybe not the Will Smith thing, but kind of in the same vein. But the guy tackling Chappelle, this situation just seems like there's a lot of this cropping up. I wonder if it's something to do with this feeling of the last 2+ years of everyone being limited in what they can do, and now we've been set free, and now we're all insane. Anyway, just what are you doing? I don't care if you're 50.
Do you think it's? So let me ask you. It's also the beginning of hot time, right? It's hot. Texas had historically hot this weekend to the point where I found myself road raging as well. So I kind of understand the But I also think, do we think that the amount of social media use is, people say the most horrific, something happened to Instagram this weekend, right? So I used to have it set up where I wouldn't even see message requests like DMs or whatever. It just automatically would just block everyone out and be like, no, unless I follow you, whatever, I'm not going to see it. And all of a sudden they popped up this week and I could see them. So these were messages from 160, 200 weeks ago, whatever it was. And they were awful. It was when I went off on Kawhi Leonard and it was just, fuck you, Canada hates you, hope you died. And I'm like, oh, yes, I remember these times. These were fun times. And these are the types of things that people say on a daily basis on social media. And do we think sometimes our inside social media voices are now carrying over into when we actually go out in public, and now we're acting out on it? And I'm by the way, I'm using we extremely loosely here. I'm really talking about idiots, but maybe it's that. It's like this, I've said all these horrible things to whoever, and now I find myself face to face with his family, and I just lost control for a second. I don't know. There's got to be, I'm not a psychologist. This has to be a field day.
I think you're right. And I think it's a double-edged sword, right? Because we have this unprecedented, in recent times, access to these athletes, right? Draymond is recording his podcast after his pressers, and so what happens is fans feel like they know these athletes. They have these parasocial relationships where they feel in some ways entitled to a response, a reaction, and that they can give their feedback. And I think you're right that then you're confronted with this and you have this very one-sided relationship. I'd be curious if you feel this way with how people speak to you as well. But that's crazy.
That's weird.
Wake up, people.
But you're also putting yourself in harm's way. We're moving past words.
That.
You mentioned it, the Chappelle guy, this is, I don't know. Maybe it's the beginning of the end. You know how when they watch a zombie movie, it's like a slow transformation, a couple people in town start to get eaten from the inside out and they act weird. And then all of a sudden maybe this is the beginning of that. I mean, I'm not against it, to be honest with you. I think we've had a good run, but yeah, I don't know. Gabe feels like he's very pensive about it.
Well, I just feel weird about the whole thing because I agree with just about all of what you're saying. And I'm wondering if we're going to reach a tipping point where fans do realize, no, when you go run up to the octagon and try to make a video out of it, first of all, that's the last place on earth you want to go and try to scare someone.
I mean, I almost kind of respect it. I'll be honest, of all the places to go, that's not it.
So when a bodyguard tosses you out and basically saves your life just by throwing you down instead of letting you actually get in there and confront someone.
Oh,
maybe you learn something when you jump on stage at Chappelle and people beat you badly, and they aren't going to face criminal charges for beating you badly because you are the one invading, or when this young man, let's assume the worst in this guy, which maybe isn't fair, but let's assume he did everything Chris Paul thinks he did and more.
Like if he shoved his mom, let's say that, right?
Yeah,
that's awful.
Like, of course. And so you're going to pay consequences for that. And so I just wonder when people do start to realize it. Because on Twitch and on Instagram and on Twitter, you can say all that stuff that you want. It does. What's the worst thing that happens? So you get blocked?
Yeah.
You don't get punched in the face on Twitter.
No. But you know what? I will devil's advocate you right now. I don't think
I was devil's advocating. Wait, I was the devil.
So what do I do? I'm double advocating. Like I would say this. You're speaking from a sane thinking person who sort of looks at consequences and punishments as, okay, I'm done. I won't do it again. I learned my lesson. Whereas I don't think that's what we have now in society. I think any and all publicity, any and all exposure is now considered a prize, like some sort of reward. So I don't know about this teenage, whatever the hell he is. I'm sure, but that's the thing. For all I know, he goes to school today and he's like, I'm that guy, like whatever. Or the girl that tried to get in the octagon, like maybe that's now she's considered awesome, good, bad, or ugly. I don't know that these are people that learn from these things. I think this is all part of the chase.
Yeah, that's a good point. Death. What's the end game?
Well, Charles Barkley said it. He goes, I've always said, put him at mid-court, 5 minutes, and then I get to like beat him up, but I'll take my time. And I'm not going to throw haymakers right off the top. I'm going to wait till the end of the 5 minute. And I was like, Kenny Smith tried to bring him back down, but honestly, I thought it was kind of funny. And I don't know what the end game is. Maybe televised athletes beating up fans. Maybe we start paying for that, pay-per-views.
Well, so then let me ask you this to bring it back to CP3 for a second. So his reaction, again, we don't have the full story, but it seemed pretty threatening and pretty weird for him to say, like, I'll see you later. Basically, like, I'm going to come get you.
Right.
I don't think we have to take that serious. I think there's a bit of hyperbole in that. I'm not accusing CP3 of chasing him down. But then, like, what is the responsible thing for him to do? Because I would imagine a lot of players feel like there's no safe way. There's no due process. Like, these guys get to say whatever they want, even literally put their hands on our family or throw stuff at us. What do we get to do in response? And I don't know the answer. That's
this is why these guys have personal bodyguards on top of team bodyguards. Like a lot of times the bigger names especially will have their own detail. I think this is such a weird situation because the timing of it was such that I don't even know that Chris Paul necessarily knows what was happening. I think he was just sort of in the melee told, hey, it's your family. Some crap went down, and that's all he knew. And of course you're going to be like, what's my family? So now I'm going to react. Zero blame for that. But yeah, it's the video is jarring because we have the benefit of seeing the person he's addressing and we have the time to go, is that a teenager? Like, this is very awkward. I don't know that he saw any of that. I have no idea. Or maybe he thought it was who knows? But it's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's as simple as sort of like you publicly embarrassing maybe the parents or I have no idea. There are no ramifications. I think that's it.
Well, don't teams
but how do you?
ban
I've always
people?
wondered, how do you ban a person? So you're telling me I get banned from Spurs games. I can't somehow get a ticket and go up to the 200 section. Who the hell would know? I don't know how you carry out a ban. It sounds great on paper, but like out of 14,000 people, 8,000 people, 60,000 people, whatever, football game. You're going to know everybody that works at the stadium's on high alert for that one face. There's no chance. Like unless you just don't buy it with your credit card, if that's the only way they have of tracking you. And then you'd be an idiot to try that anyways. But we are talking about idiots. So yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we can reach out to like a team official.
I would love to. I've always wanted to know that because it sounds real good and got him, but not really. Like, you just don't sit courtside. Although I don't go to things if I can't sit courtside. So technically, yeah. I would be banned, but that's totally fair. So yeah, we've got ourselves a series. By the way, that's not even taking into account that we had another chippy moment in the Golden State Memphis series where Ja Morant now was on the receiving end of what was a quote unquote breaking the code moment and may not play in Game 4, which that would suck so bad. But I've watched that video as well, and again, I didn't have a very strong reaction to it. Didn't seem like he did as much as he's being blamed for doing. But all I know is I like the chippiness. I like that these are series now. They're either tied or it's 2-1. This is exactly what I want out of my NBA playoffs. And so I'd like to say thank you. Thank you.
They're definitely giving us drama.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced I'm watching the best teams or the best players. Maybe I'll feel that way.
Why?
But,
Who's missing?
Well, there's one guy's missing.
Who?
One guy missing.
Kevin Durant? No, he's on vacation.
He's a buddy of Chris Paul's. Let's just say.
He's a poser, and his ass was in the paddock this weekend with every other poser that pretended they liked F1 all of a sudden. Give me a break. Give me a
should we
break.
go there? Is that where we need
Are we
to
doing
end up?
this? Are we doing this? America, let's do this. Miami Grand Prix. It happened. It's been hyped. It's been the talk of the town for seemingly 17 years leading up to it. The moment it was announced that Miami was going to have a stop, I think a lot of us, myself, rolled my eyes and thought, yay, America, but also, oh no, America. And it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. A shit show of celebrities of all lettered tiers. A paddock that is used to seeing a certain amount of human being. It was like salmon rushing upstream. You couldn't even move. Like it was a who's who and also a who the hell is that of just what is going on. And it was everything that, look, there were legitimate people there, right? There were stars there. There's that picture of Lewis Hamilton, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady. Who was the fourth? Who am I missing?
Beckham.
Oh, and I'm so sorry, Beckham. And Beckham. And it was like, okay, that's a cool ass picture. No matter what your feelings are of one or two or four of those people. Well, everybody loves Michael, but yeah, that was cool. But then there was like DJ Khaled walking around trying to get. It was just Paris effing Hilton. I had to look at my calendar. What the year is this that I have to see Paris Hilton? I just shut up, Paige. Just having a show doesn't mean you're back. It was, and also, what the fuck was Danica Patrick doing there? You have been,
I didn't see
wasn't
this.
just
What
there.
happened?
She did an open, okay? She did an open on the back of a coral convertible. You know, that classic stupid Miami scene where you're driving down A1A in a convertible and she's like, oh, F1, baby, it's back. A, never been to Miami, so it can't be back, just by definition, right? 2, you've been very vocal that that's not the kind of racing that you like. 3, I barely ever saw you finish a race as it was. I call you Danica, hit the wall, Patrick. I'm over it. Okay, that's it. It was just, but the list of, I'm looking at the list of celebrities that we know of that were there. It was, sometimes you have to take off your American glasses and you kind of have to put on your global glasses. And it was just over the top ridiculousness. Like, I know that we worship celebrities here. I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I watch so much garbage TV and read so much garbage news, but it was just like to watch it through the eyes of what other people think of us. I was like, I hate it. I hated it. I just really did. It made me feel poopy.
Can I?
Yes.
Can I make an argument
Absolutely. I want to
against
hear
that?
it.
Okay. Without those throngs of people, celebrities of various statures, we wouldn't have gotten the absolute gift that is Martin Brundle.
He's a hero.
Going through the crowd to find anyone that he knows.
He didn't know. And I've seen him in action before. And now I think probably a lot of people have, because if you didn't know him yesterday or you didn't know him, you know him now. And so that sort of led people down this YouTube. And like, he did it most recently with Megan Thee Stallion. Like, he didn't know. And I'm trying to find him out here because he actually tweeted last night after all of this. What did he say? He had a tweet. Now, before I get into it, Martin Brundle is a British reporter. He's the guy that does the pre-race, where he's basically on the track and he's with a cameraman. And by the way, this cameraman is also a badass because there's no hesitation. And they're weaving in and out of people. Yeah. And usually he's looking for racers. He's looking for the drivers. He's looking for anybody having to do with the teams. And he just shoves a microphone in the face. There's no PR. There's no setting it up ahead of time. It is just microphone and camera in your face. And they really comply. And then the occasional celebrity, because there's usually a handful of celebrities at any one of these races. This particular one, as I mentioned, was you couldn't even get through the human traffic. It was just like shoulder to shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. And so he's standing there. Oh, I gotta find somebody. Whatever. And there's a man that's just standing taller than everyone else. So he sees him, of course, and he walks over there and he's like, Patrick. He thinks it's Patrick Mahomes. Now, do I think he thought it was Patrick Mahomes? I actually don't. I think whoever's in his ear told him it was Patrick Mahomes, and he didn't know at all. He wouldn't have known anyways. Gets through the interview, and it happens to be Paolo Banchero, who's going to be in the NBA draft. I don't even know that Paolo knew that he called him Patrick. But at some point, somebody says, that's not Patrick Mahomes, to which Martin Brundle responds something along the lines of, I don't care. It is amazing television. It's what he does. And he tweeted last night, this is 14 hours ago, there's a reason why I've never watched back an F1 grid walk in a quarter of a century of doing them. You have no idea how much I dislike doing them, but somehow those crazy moments have defined my professional career. This emoji. Oh, well, that's the way it is.
Hey, man.
Oh, that like makes me sad, kind of.
Sorry about your life, bro.
He's there to be he's a racing guy. Like, that's what he wants to talk about. Goodness. And he's like, I'm having an interview. I don't even know it. But the other part of that video is Dwayne Wade is like walking by him, I think 3 times when he's trying to find it. It's just, it was too much. And then the fact that like the race ended and they had to have a police escort from the end of the race to the podiums where like, we couldn't just do this like every other place, just like normally, just, hey, we walk over to the podiums, we get the song, we champagne ourselves, and everyone moves on with the day. It had to be so over the top, which and Miami to me is just humid LA. So it was like, oh God, this is everything that I hate about everything. And now I imagine Vegas will be just as cluster effy, like, right? But to me, Miami is such a sceney place. Sure. Like it's a fake it till you make it. Pretend like you're a celebrity even if you're not kind of place. Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. Am I being a dick? Like, was it not too much?
I want your thoughts on. I thought it was strange, like all of the like football related advertisements, right? Like they had all the drivers in like football uniforms or like on a football. That seems insane to me. Like Miami, I wouldn't say is like a football.
No, just because the stadium was the backdrop. Maybe I don't. Well, also these kids aren't watching American football. None of them are watching American football.
The broadcasters either.
Yeah, right. Like it was. This sport is growing here, right? There's no arguing that. Now, whether this boom continues or whether this is just a momentary blip on the radar of sports for American fans, time will tell. But the almost sort of arrogant Americanization of the weekend for something that has existed for decades, and we've ignored it as a collective sports fan unit. And now all of a sudden, by the way, I'm in this. I'm 100% guilty of being in this group of people. We watched a Netflix series and now we're kind of into it and we're watching these races. The football tie-ins, the celebrity tie-ins, the ridiculousness of how everything had to be so grandiose. It was just like, how about this? We just got invited to this dinner party. Okay. We are at the kids' table right now. Maybe we just quietly sit there and be part of the conversation and learn a little more instead of being obnoxious dickbags like we always apparently have to be. Maybe I'm Canadian. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I can confirm that.
Can I actually took a few notes for this for the first time.
You did?
Normally. Yeah, listen.
On F1?
Yeah, no.
Did you watch it?
Normally,
don't be crazy.
No, I didn't watch it. When F1 comes up in our rundown almost weekly, you guys normally, that's like when I start to check my email or something. This time I came prepared because I was like, this is a tipping point. This is a tipping point for phonies. Ooh. You identified it, Beadle. This is like, we've just seen everyone catch on at the same moment, and Miami is the worst possible place. Like, that is worst. That is exactly where the phonies like to show up. So who took the biggest L? I'll tell you who. Horses. Because you know where the previous place for phonies was?
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, in Kentucky. And so none of those phonies all selling something. You think they're there because they're fans of the sport? Hell no. It's just a red carpet. Don't fall for it, people. They all just shifted that stupid scene from somewhere in Kentucky down to Miami. It's the same shit.
Somewhere.
Louisville? You mean Louisville?
We know where.
Well, also you're right because Tom Brady is staple at the Kentucky Derby. Was
damn
he there?
right he is.
I don't know. I didn't watch. Obviously, I didn't watch anything Kentucky Derby related.
You know who some of the celebs at the Kentucky Derby were this year?
I only saw 2.
Joey Fatone, Hank from Breaking Bad, and your boy Mario Lopez.
First of all, if you ever say that he's
your
my
boy
again, I will fly to LA, knock on your door, punch you in the face, fly home. Period. That was the level of.
That's who they got.
I saw Jack Harlow and Drake.
No,
that's all I saw.
Yeah,
I saw
Jack Harlow.
By the way, Jack Harlow. I saw a video of him because, by the way, it rains every year at the Kentucky Derby. It rains for an hour before, and then everyone's stuck walking through mud. But he had 2 large black gentlemen carrying him through the crowd, and I thought to myself, "Hey, Jackie boy, not cool.
Not a great look.
Not a good look.
Suit.
Not cute. You might want to reconsider that next time, you dumbass."
Huge L for him because I went from not knowing, and by the way, still not knowing who the hell he is or what the hell he's good at, to him being everywhere I look in the last 3 weeks. Well, guess what?
100%.
I actually was looking for Jack Harlow in Miami. I thought this is the kind of place some person being forced down my throat is going to show up. He's probably going to be in another picture with Tom friggin' Brady any second now. No, he was in the loser section back in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Kentucky Derby is usually
He has a song called Churchill Downs.
Well, he's from Louisville. He's from there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Tony Parker was at in Miami. I didn't see him. I didn't see the Watt brothers. I didn't see Renee Zellweger, although her man is a big car guy. So I mean, she might be too, but I just know that he is. Yeah. I listened to the post race stuff in my car. And there's a show called, I think, Street Speed or something, the Speed City, and it's an American show. I think they're based out of Austin. I wish I knew which of the 3 guys said it, but one of them said, "Hey, first race in Miami, a lot of thoughts, but I hope they get rid of all the posers for the next one." And I was like, see, that's not us just being jerks. That's a guy who's devoted his life to these sports, and he's talked about it, and he's an expert in it, and that was his take on what he saw. It was dumb. And the race itself.
Okay, I'm going to argue against it, though. We don't need to gatekeep. People can just be fans. People have to start somewhere. They can be fans of something.
They are not fans.
They might be now. It was their first introduction to it.
I will bet my limbs. I will bet every limb I own that they have not been. You didn't convert. They either were fans, they were car collectors, which I've noticed amongst the rich and famous is the tie-in that a lot of these guys are claiming is I collect cars. Ian Poulter's an F1 guy, but he also collects cars. Yeah. So and he's been to races. That's fine. But no, we knew this was going to be a scene because it's my freaking Miami. This is the same city that left a playoff game of their own team early because God forbid I have to go stand in line to get into a club that nobody wants me in for fucking 4 hours and try to get back into the arena when the game turned around. This is the crappiest sports city in America, which is unfortunate because I love Jimmy Butler. All right. He makes me laugh. I find him entertaining, but the sports city fan world there is garbage. They make LA fans look like diehards. That's how bad Miami is.
Yeah, by the way,
But
they
by
got
all means,
Homestead in Miami. I don't remember seeing all you Euro chic jerks at a NASCAR race. It's cultural appropriation of NASCAR. That's what it is. You want to eat cheese and drink wine instead of chugging Budweiser. Ooh. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. Yes. And by the way, there's a million other problems with how this is going. But I'm not going to start calling a fucking garage a paddock. Not happening. A field,
how dare you?
A field is a field. It's not a pitch. It's a field.
It is a paddock. It was built for this
paddock is for fucking
race.
Horses.
No, you know what? You need to shut your mouth. This was a paddock. It was a temporary build because the highway. It was a street race. It was a street track. So they built it for that. They actually built it larger, knowing the douchebaggery that was going to show up for the event. So they're like, oh, we got to fit 17 more idiots in here. Let's make it wider than the normal paddock. Oh, thank you. So these poor people that actually do this for a living take us. Even the drivers were like, get the fuck out of here. It's too many. There's too many. I don't even know who you is. I don't want to take a picture with you. And then, I totally forgot about this. No offense to the gentleman. I believe, what is it? Willie T, right? So I watched the post race. Now, there is a set crew that does these races week in, week out. It's the Sky Sports crew. Okay, I'm used to them. I like them. It works. But because it's in the United States of America, they get Willie T, who, by the way, in his own right, is a historical figure in racing in this country. Okay, I think he was the first black IndyCar racer. That's awesome. And you know what? Go to the race. Get your picture taken. Do all the cool shit you're supposed to do when you're like a legend in your own thing. What you don't need to do is put a microphone in the man's hand so that he can now shove that microphone in 1, 2, and 3 spots, being Max, Charles, and Carlos, and asking, I don't even think they were questions. At one point, he said, Charles Chuck Leclerc, what are you doing? There weren't even questions. It was like, the tires were hot. Yeah, Willie T, the tires were hot. Okay, the track was 140 degrees. They're always going to be hot. It was cringe city, especially when you've got 5 perfectly suited, wonderfully knowledgeable reporters who are used to doing that specific job, just standing over there twiddling their thumbs because we needed to add one more stupid flavor of America to this event that could have just been left alone and we could have watched it like we watch all the other races. Can we not just shit red, white, and blue all over everything? Can't we just embrace it for what it is? An amazing event that's not ours, but that we're trying to love? Like, we're just new and we're trying to like it. Don't ruin it. We have to ruin everything. I'm sure they had disgusting concession stand things too, because God forbid. I mean, cheese and wine is good, Gabe. Cheese and wine is good, but I'm sure they did something awful.
I did see somewhere that they, in like I think it's from Spencer Hall, had this in like a newsletter or something, but he was saying that in the VIP marina area, crab cakes were like $400. That's too many dollars.
For how many crab cakes? 4,000? Like that's $400.
I think they come in 2s, so let's assume 2.
Well, by the way, I know how much it was to go to Austin and sort of do like a VIP thing. That we did that, and it was a big, like, let's save our money and let's buy this and we're going to do it big, and it was a lot. I can't even fathom what kind of ridiculous amount of zeros were on these passes for some of these people. And also the worst part, most of the people didn't have to pay for the passes.
They're all being paid to be there. Paige, you've done this for years. These people aren't fans. This is publicity. They run to the cameras. If all these cameras were still over there at Churchill Downs, guess where these jerks would be? Rooting for horses instead of tires.
It's nice to be seen.
By the way, I don't like the Kentucky Derby for a variety of reasons, but I did see the overhead video of Rich Strike coming from out of that is a hell of a video to watch. The last minute of that video it's pretty cool. I will say that. Now, I wish there were no people on the horses' backs and it was just horses racing. Again, it's a way better sport. They did it that way. But to watch this horse come so far out of nowhere that the announcer wasn't even prepared to say his name until it literally ended, I was like, it was like a movie. But yeah, that was a good point, Gabe. I completely forgot that the Kentucky Derby was the king of all douchebaggery until this weekend, and it got bumped.
Tom Brady not being there and being at F1 tells you everything you need to know. Let me ask you this,
you know what?
Beadle.
Right.
We've gone way over here, but I got to ask you this. I think you both know this about me. I'm a parrot head. I've been to a lot of Jimmy Buffett concerts.
Oh, for a second there, I was like,
yeah,
what now?
No,
okay, yeah.
I've been to several Jimmy Buffett concerts.
What is that? Like more than 10?
You're a 40-year-old father of 3. We know this.
Yeah, I think more than 10 at this point, and I'm going to another one in a few weeks. Here's a tradition. Have either of you ever been to a Jimmy Buffett show?
I have not, no.
Yes.
Paige has been to one show?
Okay. Yeah, 1 or 2
on
maybe?
purpose, or did you just go with people? Like, did you get the tickets, or were we like asked to go?
No.
Okay.
It was like a group situation.
Okay, fair enough.
Had a great time.
Of course, she had a great time. Everyone has a great time. It's a great show. But here's what they do. When you show up to a tailgate before a Jimmy Buffett show, in a non-aggressive way, in a very friendly, welcoming way, somebody will take a marker out and draw on your arm, Virgin. This will happen. And then you will walk all around the parking lot and people will pour shots down your throat. Like, you've never been here before. We're hazing you, but welcome to the team. We love you for being here. You're going to love it, but you're going to have to pay a little price for being a poser this one time. That's how it works.
I love this.
So F1, think about doing that. And then all those phonies would have had Virgin on their arm.
You're right, because in your world, the virgins don't show up all loud with 700 members and just doing things their own way in a place that's existed already and has its own traditions. That's the way it should be done. Hey, I'm new here. I'm going to quietly enter the fray, and whatever happens, happens, because you know what? I just got here. Nope. I didn't do it that way. They forced their stupid lifestyle on everybody that already existed. I'm sorry, F1. I'm sorry, but you did this to yourselves. You wanted to come here, and now you're going to have to deal with it.
Even though we just spent the last 15 minutes talking shit about it, I really wish that I would have gone.
Ugh. You couldn't pay me.
I know.
I hate Miami. I lived in Miami for a year.
I think it would have been
worst
fun.
year of my life. It was just
wow.
I hated it.
Okay.
I liked the fishing. The fishing was good.
I want to live there.
No, that's what I'm saying. You couldn't pay me to go to an event like this in Miami. Oh my! I don't know that I can think of worse things, and I have a very good imagination. So yeah, no, you would have you might have liked it.
Sorry to say, I would have liked it.
Well, next time, I'm sure they'll do it again. Because there's no worse city for them to pick. So they've done it, they've picked it, and now they're probably going to commit to it for the next 10 years. But maybe not. Maybe they'll surprise us. I don't know. All right, I guess we're taking a break. I don't know if I have anything left in me. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. Pink bats. We'll be back. Small businesses are ready to thrive again and looking for resources to rise to the challenge. That's why Dell Technologies has assembled an all-star lineup of podcasters for the third year in a row to create a virtual conference to share advice and inspiration for small businesses. Whether you're still working remotely or back together again, let Dell Technologies help safeguard your business with modern devices and Windows 11 Pro. Search Dell Technologies Small Business Podference on Odyssey.com, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts starting May 10th. With spring in the air, it's a time of renewal and growth, both personally and professionally. As your small business grows, LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. That's right. Add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile. Spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Beadle. That's linkedin.com/Beadle to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. We are back. We've all gotten a drink of water. We've taken a minute to sort of breathe, and let's get back into it, Paige. What else did we miss?
Okay. Well, before we start on What Did I Miss, I wanted to mention last week on the episode with Eno, I brought up the would you rather of would you rather eat anything you want, perfect nutrition, you never get fat, blah, 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 or would you rather only require 1 hour of sleep and that means you're fully rested? And you did a Twitter poll with the promo, and I wanted to share the results of that. So we had a few thousand votes, and interestingly, 53.7% of voters went with the food option, which I thought was surprising.
I feel like they didn't get it. I'm going to be one of those people that refuses the election results.
Poorly worded.
I think it was worded fine, but I feel like, or maybe I'm just more tired than most people. It could very well be that. Like maybe more people can do with less sleep than I feel like I can, because I feel like you can eat everything you want now. You just have to work really, really hard and like sort of counteract it. Whereas if you don't get enough sleep, there's no making up for that. I can't go do something that will make me feel like I got a lot of sleep. So that's to me why I was like, this is a no-brainer, but I might just be tired. Maybe that's just
Gabe,
me.
you weren't on the episode. Do you have a thought
I
on
saw
that?
no way in which this was debatable. I thought for sure I am an outlier because of my particular lifestyle, in that I would always want more sleep. I never have enough. And I'm fortunate in that I'm kind of like a skinny fat guy. So like, even if I eat really crappy food, I never really get like overweight.
Yeah.
I just so
that for you.
It's like not even a choice for me. I don't understand how this could be complicated.
It's really not. It really wasn't, because I eat crap now and I pay for it, but then I'm like, all right, let me try to work harder and get rid of some of this, whatever this is. But like, if you told me, hey, I'm going to bed at 6 a.m., I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m., and I'm going to feel like I got 8 hours of sleep, my God, I couldn't think of a better gift. Nothing in the world would be better.
Sleeping is a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
So if we could just count it all in an hour, this would be,
So what we're saying is we deny, Paige, your results.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is wrong.
It's fake news, Paige.
It totally is. Please don't come at me with that again. Okay.
Sorry. Forgot this happened.
All right. Moving on.
Paige, why don't I take us to the NFL schedule, which will be announced Thursday?
Yeah.
I'm
so
out.
teams already know their opponents and where they're going to have to travel and blah, 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 blah. There's a specific note here I want to get to about the Seahawks. They will travel 29,466 miles and change time zones 34 times. Ooh. The Steelers, meanwhile, will log just 6,442 miles and won't leave the Eastern time zone. Does this make you think that living in Seattle is even worse than you realized?
Wow. Oh, so what? By argument, you're saying living in Pittsburgh is better?
I'm not ready to make that argument.
By the way, this is the
strong response.
This is the podcast where we just crap on American cities.
So Miami's already
just like, and here's
Miami's taking an L. I for some reason just made Seattle take a stray. You just went after Pittsburgh. What's left? Don't you have roots in Pittsburgh? Isn't like your family from Pittsburgh or something?
I mean, my dad has never shared anything about his life, but I believe he's from Pennsylvania in origin. I'm sure I could say, by the way, he listens and watches this. Shout out, Dad. But yeah, I believe he's somehow from that area. And he is a Steelers fan, or he was, but okay, so this is an interesting take. Because I believe Seahawks consider like more of a white collar, bougie sort of fan base, shishi. They probably travel the world a lot. It almost feels like that reflects in their schedule. Whereas Pittsburgh, that area is more blue collar. We kind of stay close to home. Family never leaves too far away. It's just a very concentrated, stick together vibe. For some reason, this almost just makes sense to me. It's like a colorful poem about the two cities.
So you're punishing the coastal elites?
Yeah, fuck the coastal elites.
You know whom we need to get in here to talk about this? It's been a while. He was very mean to me when he was on, but I took it as a compliment. Adam Ray.
Oh, we definitely need to have Adam on for this. Yes, because he is a Seattle elite.
He's maybe the most elite Seattle person we can think of.
And I would love to hear his take on this little piece of information. Like, we just give him exactly the way you just gave it to us and let him react, because I want to hear what he has to say, because it is a shocking difference in schedules, but yeah, it kind of makes sense in some weird bizarre
way. They better hope that
it.
no free agent
Too bad they don't get miles for it.
Read that stat, because that's not, unless they're looking for like United miles, I don't see why you want to be a part of that,
right? Like, you don't even get the benefits of travel with that, because you're going charter. So that sucks for them.
That was from Front Office Sports, by the way. So thank you.
I like that.
For that.
Yeah, that's cool information. I like it.
Okay, so Mother's Day was on Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
Happy.
The MLB used pink bats, which is pretty fun. And I saw this tweet basically saying that pink bats were really cool and that I wish MLB would allow players to use custom bats all year long. The person kind of went on to say it would inject a little personality, maybe into all the players, etc. I love that idea, but I wanted to see what you thought. And what would be on your bat?
On my bat, it would say, I hate pink bats. That's what it would say on my bat. But it would be, yes. Number one, I agree with the idea that personality injection into the entire sport of baseball is a must. And I would like that to be a priority in whatever way you deem possible. That being said, I'm so confused. I thought pink meant breast cancer awareness. But now, apparently...
It is. Those are related.
So it's just that. So let me ask you this. My pet peeve, by the way, I don't like colors that are for anything. And I also hate that everything female related is always pink.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just such a what is this? 1967 gender reveal party. Like, it's so stupid. By the way, they didn't have those back then because only stupid people now are doing those things. I hate them so much. I would love, like, the same way, but it's the same thing in the NFL. Like, the guys are allowed to wear those cool ass cleats, but then they got to change, like, for the game, right? It's like, I've never understood why. I was like, why not have a little bit of personality? It's not going to detract from the sport by any means. I would love if bats, like, hockey goalies have badass helmets. Like, they get them, like, da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's, I don't know, a little bit of personality. It's not over the top. It's not a distraction. You know, you could sell them for charity. You could do whatever you want with them afterwards. I don't really care, but it would be awesome. And for the record, my mom hates the color pink. So she did not feel like she was being appreciated by baseball on Sunday.
I just should note for anyone who's only listening that you are sitting in a room literally filled with pink shoes. So just let's.
I know. But also.
Yeah. Oh, wait. There's the blue section. What is that? Those are just.
Yeah,
green and blue section.
Yellow.
Wait a minute. Do you have like in my? I have a laundry
just...
room, and in it there's like all the mismatched single socks that got eaten by the dryer. Do you have that for shoes? Do you have just like a bunch of single shoes? What happened to the other matching shoe in most of those cases?
What are you talking about? They're right next to each other.
It's like front back. That's how you get more shoes in. It's like a space thing.
Yeah, it's a space thing. God, get a grip, bro.
So instead of putting your shoes with like both heels on the back, you put one heel back, one heel front.
It goes like this,
so
you can fit more
space.
It's a vet move, dude.
I'm sorry, I
just
can
a vet
fit.
Move.
Have you ever been in a closet
I can fit my
before?
shoes in like the tiny amount of space where I put my shoes. I don't have to perfectly organize them and
Sure.
Oh yeah, no, this is a math project. Like this was an endeavor that I took. But yeah, no, of course it's like. You're going to have pink. I'm not saying I hate pink. I just don't like that pink has been somehow universally decided that that's girl shit.
Yeah.
Girl shit's pink.
It's like an afterthought. They're like, oh, shit, we got to do something for the women. Let's make something pink.
Yeah.
I know women take it that way. I don't know. I think I have two daughters now.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Girl
Please tell
dad,
me
so
how
I'm
we should
entitled
take
to
it.
an opinion here.
Sure.
Sure.
Sure. Not how that works.
Yeah. Welcome to women's issues. Now that you're a dad.
And your opinion will probably be worth more than ours. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
The twins. I have a great experiment here. Twin, boy and girl. You've met them.
Oh yeah.
We are conscious not to point them in any specific direction on all the cliche ways that we were all raised. So they don't like one loves sports and one loves dance. Nothing like that. We just let them choose. But my daughter. She's 4-something years old now. Like every time she chooses pink, she chooses princesses, she chooses unicorns, and the dude just takes sports stuff and like hitting things.
Yeah.
So some of that,
that's fine.
Pink,
that's
just
totally
a color
fine.
that some women really like.
It's a lovely color. It really is. It's lovely color. It's flattering on most people. But the idea that it means girl is ridiculous. Because it's not my favorite color. Never has been. Not even when I was little. So, like, that's why I think it's just a lazy old way of going, boys are blue and girls are pink. Don't ask me any questions. I'm like, no, I think we could be a little more nuanced. You know what I mean?
I'm
Maybe
wearing
we
a
add
pink
a little
shirt right now.
creativity to the mix.
Hell yeah.
And while you're throwing the whole thing
Devontae
off.
Smith
Good job, buddy.
was shown on the big screen at the Sixers game, okay? And they put a little graphic up just to help everyone know who he was, and it said Devontae Smith, former Philadelphia Eagle. Then Smith, funny tweet, wrote, "Damn, got fired on my day off." He is still on the Eagles. So,
I know.
do you think this was good or
that
bad news
about?
for him when he found out he is still on the Eagles? Because I feel like he might like to be somewhere else.
I mean, well, yeah, I think it's, I think his handling of it was perfect and brilliant and great and wonderful. And it's just everyone in the room must have just been like, what's going on? And like to have it be that way. I think it's a very funny moment, but yeah. What is the deal? He's just going to go somewhere else, obviously, but like, we don't know where yet. Right. So technically
I don't
he's
even
not
think
an
it's
Eagle.
that. I think they just made a mistake.
No, I think
he's fine.
I think they had, if I had to guess, I think whatever
How do we
associate
know?
producer had a template that they had already used showing some other Eagles player that had just said former Philadelphia Eagle and then forgot to delete it. I think that's what happened.
Or what if there's something going on behind the scenes that no one knows about, and one person accidentally leaked it, and now he's going to end up...
This is really conspiracy
I don't
theory.
think that the kid doing the graphics is like privy to the real story on like some secret trade involving Devontae Smith. I think he's going to be an Eagle, at least until his rookie contract ends. I don't think anyone thinks he's getting traded.
I want him to not be an Eagle now. I want this to be part of some bigger like mess up that was just like, oh my
if that
God,
happens,
this is so embarrassing.
that's our new show. We'll go deep. We'll interview all the people and find out what really happened.
I'll tell you what, if he does get
make
traded,
it happen.
Let's say he goes to the Browns or whatever, and then he goes to a Cavaliers game and they put him up on the big screen. They should write former Eagles receiver. That's how they should describe him.
That is funny.
Yes. That should be his title from now on, everywhere he goes. I love it. That's such a weird moment, too. But I like that he was funny about it. Okay. It's a good one.
All right. So this is our last one. And this is very nice. A fan sent me a DM with this and specifically asked for your take. And I loved it. So I do want your take here. And this is from, the handle is @LilaBeasy. So thank you to you. So she wanted your take on some of the latest antics of our guy, Drake. And here is what happened if you don't know. So Drake commented on an @Lethal Shooter post talking about T. Morant and LeVar Ball, and basically Drake is like showing support for them and saying whatever. A fan responded to Drake and said, "Your son probably play with ghostwriters." Okay, innocent-ish, but Drake's sensitive about the ghostwriter stuff. He really Drake then responded, "I just followed your girl because she's probably miserable and needs some excitement in her life." And he did. He not only followed this man's girl, but then DM'd her. Nice. And so, is Drake our new petty king? Please advise.
That is, I mean, I'm assuming these are just regular people with like a few hundred followers, whatever, just regular, normal human beings living their lives and then just trying to be happy. That is awesome. That is, by the way, the best part about it is his girlfriend, wife, whatever, is probably just like, what in the hell? Why did Drake just send me a message? Like, this doesn't make, because did he send I thought he sent a message
DM.
to her.
A follow
and then the
DM.
guys posted like, oh my God, he really did it. What if he steals her away from this guy and they become soulmates?
What if?
Tale as old as time. I love it. It's petty on a level that only a handful of society can get away with. Not everyone's as famous and large and popular as Drake. So the fact that he's used his powers for good is wonderful to see.
So Gabe, why are you stroking his beard like that?
Gabe, you
I'm
don't like it?
afraid of where I want to go with this.
Yeah, that was creepy.
So Jerome is back in the building editing these things,
Really?
so he might need to help here. I think what this guy should do, granted, the danger zone here is you're going to yell at me and say, wouldn't that be her choice? I think he should encourage his partner to engage Drake in a little bit of like, I'm going for it, right? Maybe see how far Drake's willing to take this thing, play a little game, lure him into a trap. And then this guy, maybe Drake thinks there's a little rendezvous with the guys, but then blammo, he shows up and there's that guy with a camera. Bam, gotcha, Drake, you loser. And then he fires off some sort of a picture.
And then they fight at half court for 5 minutes.
Drake, but Drake would know. He's the one that instigated the whole thing, so he's gonna. By the way, is she cute? Are these people cute? Like, what are we talking about here? Are we talking potentially? I mean, not. I'm sure Drake's had some 2s and 3s on his conquest list, but still, I don't know what we're dealing with. But like, I like the idea of it. I mean, these are what Hallmark movies are made of. Like, celebrity rolls into town and steals your girl. Love it. I just think it's awesome. So it's awesome that he threatened it and then did it. Petty AF.
Hey, I mentioned this since you edited that previous part out. I mentioned this the other day on our text chain. I'm going to put us all on the spot. Beadle, is it time for us to do like a special series ranking the pettiest people in sports? And Drake has obviously nominated himself 100%. As a finalist. We've got other names that might come up. Can we dedicate some time during the slow part of the summer to just focusing on pettiness?
Yes. Yeah, I think it should be an ongoing, because you'd be surprised. Sometimes people that you didn't know were petty will do something, and all of a sudden they're on the list, and you're like, wow, that's a beautiful thing I didn't
And
expect
we
coming.
celebrate that.
Yeah, I'm all
here.
in on it. Petty is great. Yeah, who does it? Wait, are there people that
I think
don't
so. I think there
celebrate
are
it?
some people that look down upon pettiness, but not this podcast.
Oh, God, how self-righteous of you.
Hate it.
Lame. Yeah, no, I'm 100% in. I would like a 17-part deep dive into petty, its origins, and where we're headed. We'll take a break. What are you watching tonight? With Sling TV, there is a world of entertainment at your fingertips. The only question is, what will you choose? Sports? Oh, yeah. Sling has live sports, college and professional basketball and football, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, racing, and more. But let's say you're more of a reality TV person. With Sling, you can get your daily dose of gossip with the hottest reality shows on channels like TLC, Bravo, MTV, and more. Or maybe you're looking for breaking news. Stream live broadcasts from MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, and other popular channels with Sling. There's also thousands of movies and shows on demand that you can pick from. Me? I like to put on a channel I love, like, Comedy Central, maybe a little HGTV. How about ID? Just let it play all day. There's no end to the entertainment you'll find on Sling. It's easy to set up and easy to use. You can stream on any device and record up to 50 hours with included DVR space. Check out sling.com for special offers. Sling, the live TV you love for a price you'll love. Try us today. This is, we're back. This has been an episode. Another one that's happened. I believe we've covered everything. Probably left something out. I would like to say, again, to my dad and everyone else who was wondering, the YouTube shows are coming back. Yeah, they'll pop up soon. But also, thank you for watching our YouTube shows. I didn't think anyone was. That was kind of nice that people missed it. I feel so loved. All right, that's the episode. We have 631-397-0403. If there are any questions you want answered, if there's anything you want to tell Gabe that's awful that he needs to hear about himself, any of those things, compliment Paige,
Yes,
these types
hate
of
on
things.
Gabe, compliment me, and let us know who should be on the petty chart.
Yes. Yeah.
Bye.